take my headphones off so I can hear it then. Dig it. I hear it. Yourself sick to your stomach, you're upset, you're nervous, you're letting everybody get to you, you're reading the comments, YouTube videos. There's no excuse. You got to do it. No, they won't. They won't. They won't understand. I need to go get a drink. I need to go get a drink.
I can't believe you have me. Let me turn on your. Say something there, John. All right, yeah. Can they hear? Can they hear you? I'm not even gonna look up. That's it, guys. That's all there is to it. Just off like a band-aid. It's me, Stormy, guys. You've been with me for now what now? It's been like 3 years that I've been doing this channel, and you know, we just I hear it on your end there, bud. So you just killed it. So yeah, guys. I mean, we'll get into the whole reason behind all of this and everything. DOA and I, we have a show that we want to conduct anyway, talking about expensive paper, but this has been in the works for quite some time. I've been talking about this for, I don't know, DOA, how long have I been talking about this with you? At least. No DOA. They're saying there's no audio for you again. Why does this keep happening, John? Here, say something. Let me do this. Hang on, guys. Properties. Try now. Can you hear him now, guys? Let us know if you can hear him now. Let's see. No, they say. All right, we're going to try another one. Why does this keep happening? How about now? Try it. No, that won't work. This is ridiculous. Go again. Nope. Terry, nope. All right. We have 3 more audio here. Let's try. All right, let's see that one. Paulie, no audio. Okay, we got 2 more to go through. Otherwise, I'll add a different layer. Silver Forever says, DOA, try plugging in your microphone, and then we'll try this one. I could hear you. They cannot. So, desktop audio. Wait, let's try this. Say something again. I think I figured it out. Hang on. Properties. I think I got it. Let's see. Hang on. It's because I had to mute it in the other thing. Go ahead, say something.
This is a check, test, sound check.
All right. They're saying, are you singing YMCA?
I can't see anything. We hear him now. Ah!
Yeah, all right.
So
do you know what it was? It was. I have.
It doesn't matter.
All right, I got it now. I'm gonna remember what happened with this. I had it muted and like the eyeball blocked out. And anyway,
can I just say we've been staring at each other for over an hour?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear.
Yeah.
So, what I was saying.
Yeah, go on.
Before I was so rudely unplugged. This has been a discussion for a year because you're the only person I know that treats all aspects of what you do as a business. And that's pretty awesome. You did the trademarks, you have an attorney, you have the tax guy, you run it like a business. And that's something to be pretty damn proud of because a lot of people can't and don't have enough self-control to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And while you didn't go quit your career or modify your life for this, you've adapted into it really well. And I've always believed that the next natural or organic step in the process was going to be a face, not a face reveal. I even told you that.
Yeah.
I said, don't reveal your face and then act like it didn't happen. If you're going to do it, come clean, show everybody the man behind the myth. And just own it, man. You've earned it. You deserve it. And I think everybody would appreciate it. And as you continue to build your business and your brand, people are going to want to get to know the man behind it.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah. And you did say, you did say all along it's the natural progression, etc. But this was really kind of me the other day telling you it's time. It's time to take the helmet off. And I was like, put me in touch with your dude who did your avatar.
Yep.
And because I like the style of that. And so to be honest with you guys, and I think Terry is in here. Terry, who was following my channel since the beginning, there was a live stream that I was doing with Guido, and I had my iPhone, and this is when they first did like the face recognition to unlock it. And we were raising money for charity. I said, "Oh, hang on, I gotta give you money for, let me send you some money via PayPal." And I thought I had turned off my camera, and I took my helmet off, and I move out of the frame, and then I go and I send him money, and then I come back into the frame, and I put the helmet on, and then everybody's in the chat like saying, "Oh, we saw him," and I'm like, "What? What did they see?" I'm like, "Oh my god!" I was like mortified that they saw me.
You flashed yourself.
I flashed myself.
And then there's been a couple of times where like you put up a coin and the reflection caught like But the truth of the matter is, unlike most of the people hiding behind a mask, hiding behind who they really are, you're actually really transparent about who you are and where you go. I mean, if anybody looked up the silver shop, Steve's shop that you talk about every day, somebody could sit in the parking lot and meet you, and I know that people do that. People do that all the time. I also know that they recognize your voice in the shop. But look, this is the natural progression of things. Yeah. This is where it is. This is the way we do it. I'm proud of you. I'm happy you've done it.
I appreciate it. No, I appreciate it.
I think it's going to be a trend. I think it's going to be a trend. People who take this seriously have to be serious.
It's reminding me of what's that movie? Oh my god, I think like Tom Selleck was in it, and everybody's like coming out of the closet, and at the end, like everybody's like standing up in the audience. They're like, "I'm gay," and they're all coming out of the closet. So this is like, and I think too, like I would say, I don't know, there's probably like 100 people within the coin niche, the stacking niche or whatever, and there's a very small handful that are actually, on camera. You got Rob Finds Treasure, Silver Seeker, Ravenhawk Coins. You got Coin Help You. I'm trying to think of like others, but there's like a Plumber Stacker who's in here, Paulie Buck, you there, but it's a small group. The overwhelming majority of people do the hands and coins, and I'll be completely honest with you guys. What it comes down to is there's a couple of things, and then we'll start talking about the show. First and foremost, I feel like at first, like I wanted to be different than everybody in the stacking community, so that's why I did the whole shtick with the helmet. It was a complete gimmick.
It was a character.
Completely. And if you look back at my very first videos, I mean, holy crap, they're so bad. And I didn't know if I was going to be me just wearing a helmet, or if I was actually going to be this like nerdy character. So I guess it's like kind of like, I guess it's the same thing, but I like even had like a voice that I was kind of doing with it.
Yeah, I remember.
So bad. And
it's the progress.
It's the progress, yeah. And then, over time, and like I used to always wear the helmet. I'm like, all right, I'm going to stop wearing the helmet, start, moving more towards just the educational thing, not so much like the character aspect of it all. And then, like I said, it was like I did the show with Guido. He did face reveal. Nobody really gave a crap. Big Apple Stacker, he's like, whoa, he's out.
Yeah, he's out.
A lot of people, good to see you, Murphy. A lot of people didn't think I was actually doing it, but truth be told, when I say I'm gonna do something, I pretty much do it,
but this was more than just a gimmick. This is a big decision. A lot of people use, I'm gonna say this, a lot of people use the excuse that it's for safety and so on and so forth. But anybody who's in this space knows how to keep their stuff locked up, knows how to take protective measures. And if you wanted to find out who anyone is, you can. Okay? So if somebody was out to be that kind of criminal, then they're gonna figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
There is a trust building exercise when you able to look at somebody. I mean, I did that from day one. All the videos that I shoot and produce and I publish on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Have my
there's so many. Gosh,
there's so many. It's
the quantity, so the catalog of educational, material.
Yes.
I can't sift through it all.
It's a masterwork in cinematography, documentarian, filmmaking. I mean, gosh, actually, I am probably at 20 or so minutes from that first video. I was going to do it finish it today. I spent the day. I got up at super early. You texted me at like 5:40.
It was like 6 o'clock my time. It was like 4 o'clock yours or something like
Yeah,
that.
it was super early, and I'm like, how does it make you feel to know that I'm here when you go to bed and I'm here when you wake up? We're
That's how it
married,
should be.
essentially.
Paulie's like that too.
Yep. No, of course. I can text him anytime with like a grievance or something, and he comes to my rescue and talks me off the ledge, like 24/7. And I constantly harass him for like climbing poles for a living and constantly working and doing cabbage ball games, but that man's never left me high and dry.
No,
Ever.
and me neither. He's always there. You need him, he's there.
That's one solid dude. By the way, I'm gonna drop our show plug for Monday nights.
Yeah. Whatever you got to do it.
Paulie Buck and I, Ted Jones, can you drop the link for me? Paulie Buck and I do Precious Metals Unfiltered every Monday night at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, where we just kind of shoot the shit. It's sort of like Howard Stern meets the librarian. Very similar in style to what we're going to be doing here with expensive paper. But speaking of expensive paper, tell the people what we're here to talk about.
So today's topic, what we were really kind of thinking about was talking about, which, I guess, alternative asset, like you like to coin that term. I mean, I guess you didn't coin the term, but you like to use the term, and I like it as well. Which comic books you should be looking at to buy, which kind of coins you should be looking at to buy, where to look for these items, and
how to price check them,
all that stuff. Like, that's kind of what we were going to talk about today, and like what our process is, and how you do things, how I do things. And there's a lot of people in the chat who have a combination of multiple things that they're into, and pretty much everybody in the chat, they collect more than just silver and gold coins, right? They collect comics, cards, Pokemon, everything. So why don't you, if you want, do you want to just, let's talk about, because the majority of everybody here are stackers, so why don't we talk about like which coins, silver, gold, or in your case, you also like to buy the jewelry, like what kind of stuff do you look at? How do you decide what to buy? How do you decide what's going to be a hot item?
So I think what makes this interesting is because we work from two opposite sort of ends of the spectrum, but the end goal is the same.
Yeah.
So the end goal is to build wealth, and we both choose the vehicle of collectibles or alternative assets. To me, the original alternative assets were gold and silver, and things like comics, cards, and coins, graded coins. So when you talk about alternative assets these days, you get NFTs in the mix, you get cryptocurrencies in the mix, you get stocks, you get hedges, you get funds, crowdfunding, you name it. Every kitschy thing that they can come up with, they do. What's interesting, though, is that you acquire items that you can then retail on your show and on your website. I acquire items almost like, I wouldn't say an arbitrage, but almost like a liquidation. So you go and find things that your audience will pick up for 40, 50, 60 bucks.
Right.
And I go and find items that people can't normally afford to buy. The mission is exactly the same. So like this bracelet, I don't know where the camera is, but this bracelet, it's about 5 ounces of gold with 5 carats of diamonds, and they're the highest quality diamonds you can get. It's probably $21,000 to $25,000 for the bracelet, and I paid probably close to 50%.
Now, I would imagine one of the things too that causes you to actually pull the trigger on something like that is just because of the deal that you're able to get. Like, for example, that big comic book collection that you just got. That you showed me that one other item the other day, the Second Amendment item the other day. That, and if that bracelet wasn't
discounted.
If it wasn't half, would you have, like, how high would you have gone, or would you have just like, oh, to hell with it, I'm not buying that thing?
No, I literally, I'm one of those crazy people. There are a lot of people, like Silver Trooper is usually in awe at my spending habits. because he's the actual antithesis of what I do. He likes to go for the best deal. Uh, uh, he just likes I mean, it's the thrill of the hunt for him,
Yeah.
right? He likes to hunt the best deal. Me, I like to close the biggest deal. So again, the methodology might be slightly different, but the
Yeah.
goal ultimately is the same. And just like you, there's stuff where you send me a text and you're like, I picked up 19 rolls of this, and I'm like, what? 19? And you're like, yeah, it'll sell, it'll move, and because you bought so many, you get it at the right price,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. I think that what's interesting about this space is that there are too many people who, in the audience, don't treat their acquisition of this stuff like it's real wealth building. They treat it more like it's collecting cool shit.
Yeah.
If everybody treated it a little differently, like almost like we do, pick your poison on which model that is, I think people would find it more thrilling, more enjoyable even, and they definitely would be building wealth faster. But that leads us to the comics and the coins section of why we're here to discuss it, right?
Right. Right.
So you tell, I mean, you tell,
Yeah.
first of all, tell me why you got inspired to get back into the comics. Tell me that.
It actually, the thought happened, I would say, a couple weeks prior to your announcement of that huge find. I was actually thinking about it. I was thinking about getting back into them. I don't know why. Every once in a while, it just happens where you're just sitting there and something just pops into your head. And I was like, oh man, I should kind of get back into those again. You know, the stuff is still hot. I liked having them. It was part of my childhood.
Yeah.
And so then I ended up seeing your stream, and then you're like, look, I got Amazing Fantasy, Amazing Spider-Man #1. Oh, look, the first appearance of Hulk. Oh, the first appearance of Thor. And I was like, damn it. I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm buying. And then I think it was that night I'm on eBay. I'm like, boink, boink, boink,
Yeah.
Actually, it was the first appearance of Punisher that I was telling you about, where they made me an offer, and just for shits and giggles, I made them a counter offer.
That was super low.
It was super low, and they accepted. I was like, holy crap. I was like, oh, very nice. I was like excited, but then I had to freaking pay it.
Do you have the book?
Yeah.
So for people, because I just got done saying, being willing and able to spend that money, this is a $7,000 book.
No, I wouldn't go with 7. I would go with like 5,500.
Well, you add taxes and fees, shipping and insurance, it's up there, and maybe 5,500 on a good day. But you picked it up for significantly less, and it's a 9.0 at that.
Yeah.
You picked it up for significantly less than that.
I was lucky.
The reason you were able to, well, you say lucky, but if you didn't have the money, that deal would have not been happening.
Yeah.
So while you can't show the eBay guy that you have cash in hand, when you place a bid or an offer, he knows you're backing that offer up.
Right.
Well, that's how it should work.
Right.
So the equivalent is, he says something like, I'm asking 6, I'll take 55, and you go, hey, I'll take 5. I'll do 5. Now you just saved yourself $1,000 instantaneously because you were willing to spend the 5. And he knew it, so he was willing to accept it. And that's what I do with the precious metals.
Yeah.
You want to sell me 10-ounce bars? Great. This is what I'm willing to pay you, and I'm willing to pay you right now in cash.
Right. Right. Now, in terms of like the coins that I'm choosing, like I have to be very selective. I feel like I'm fairly in tune with the different trends and the items that people like, and I think it's in part, number one, it's the people that I follow on Instagram. You can kind of just sense a buzz, when stuff just starts popping up in your feeds and people are talking about a particular coin or whatever, like, that's going to be like a next big item or what have you. Every once in a while I'll have subscribers just reach out to me. They'll send me a couple of links or something, like, hey, did you see this? And then somebody else sends the same exact thing. Hey, did you see this? So I'm like, okay, this is something that I need to pay attention to, right? I can't keep track of everything. It's impossible. There's so many different releases. It's part of like the benefit of having, to be honest with you, part of having the you know, the different like private chat groups that I have is a lot of times like I'm not even aware of something until like a subscriber gives me a tip off.
Well,
Right?
you can't possibly
No.
have your thumb on it. By the way, guys, I see 91 in the chat. Can we hit that like button? Can we hit that subscribe button if you're not already? But the like button would really help that algorithm and tell people to come hang out with us on a Wednesday night. So
Yeah, go on.
So to circle back to your model, you may appear to look like your thumb is on the button of everything,
Right.
but you really absorb the feedback from your community.
Yep. And then I also pay. I mean, you are like, good Lord, you're organized. I keep track of every auction, every single item, in a spreadsheet. How much I buy it for, sold for, the profit, who it was sold to. And I'm able to keep track of trends in terms of the price and how high a particular item is going to resell. I'm able to also kind of see the different weights and the price point for everybody, like the pain points, like, you know, where people kind of tap out and they're like, I can't buy that, that's too much. So I'm very selective in the items that I bring up and that I show. And you know, it's just important to kind of be in tune with like your customers. You kind of, you know, you can see, you know, what it is that they buy. Because the worst thing is like buying a whole bunch of stuff and then you're stuck on yeah, like, you know, luckily for me, I haven't really had that happen often. The closest thing I could think of would be like Wonder Woman. But that's not even like a total loss because I bought it at a significantly lower price. So, you know,
So it's not a loss. It's just a frustration that your capital is held up.
Yeah, and it's not even like a ton left. I sold through a lot of it, but right, it was a frustration. It was held up. There was a whole bunch of them. I thought it was going to be a big release, because it was like the first female superhero on a coin in, you know, a long time. But you know,
Piggybacking on the movie and the second one.
Yep.
And in reference to that, you know, I've told people this repeatedly. We really are friends.
Yeah.
in real life friends, and we talk
daily,
and we gripe and moan and complain about and celebrate all kinds of things, just like we do with Paulie, just like I do with Silver Trooper.
Yep.
Usually he's bitching at me about something, but we're in real life. You even called once and said, dude, what am I going to do with these 9 tubes of Marvel coins? you're like, dude, I've got like 10 grand in Marvel coins or whatever it was sitting here.
I forgot about that.
What'd you do 2 weeks ago?
I unloaded a lot of them.
No, but what'd you do again?
Oh, I bought more of them.
Yes. You bought more. So 3 months ago, you're like, oh my God, this is so did I make a mistake?
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks ago, you're piling them on
more,
again. Because rumor had it that was the end of the line.
Yes. And we've seen what happens with those prices when it's the end of the line. Actually, it's funny that you brought that up because somebody placed an order on my website today for an Iron Man and a Captain America coin. So I was fulfilling that order and I'm looking. You've seen I have 2 different inventories, right? I've got the auction and I got the website. I'm like, oh man, like maybe I need to buy even more Marvel. It's as if like I have this like fear that they're gonna like
FOMO. You have FOMO that you won't have the supply for your. But if like I can tell you firsthand, looking at your numbers, looking at your math, looking at your spreadsheets, because you don't share that stuff, but as I guess friends, you find people to confide in.
Book.
And I gotta tell you, one of the most amazing parts about that spreadsheet is how you allocate inventory to your different resource pools. So you have inventory for the auction, then you might have your personal, then you might have some fluff stuff in case, and then you have the shop, you have your online store. And that takes a very methodical, very controlled method of thinking and handling things. I mean, I'm way too crazy for that. I can't do it.
You can't do it?
I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm the, and I don't know if Emil's in here, but Silver Husky.
I saw him.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Husky.
Is he in here? I
Yeah,
can't read the
Sal
comments.
is here. Heist is in here. There's a lot
What's
of
up,
people.
Sal?
There's like 90 something at one point.
Heist, Sal. I'm sorry, guys. I still do not have chat in front of my face, so all I get to look at is Storm. I have the tablet over here on the side that I try to glance at, but
But
good to see. Just saw Sal. Good to see you, Sal. Hey,
greetings.
greetings,
Greetings, members one and all, to the Salivation Nation.
Sal, one day I want you to come on either this show or on Precious Metals Unfiltered with Paulie and I, because I want to ask you about the number of groupies you have from your days running the Kiss band. I see you running the stage for a Kiss concert and having like a busload of groupies. I don't know. Just like people have a different, I guarantee people had a different vision of you. I was watching the chat. They said red hair, auburn. What else did they say? They were taking bets on beard or no beard.
Beard or no beard, yeah. I have like scruff. I don't necessarily do the beard. Chris is saying still crazy to see Stormy's face.
I know, huh? Put a 5 in the chat, guys, if he looks like you thought. Put a 1 if he looks completely different.
This is opening it up for something bad.
I didn't say put 69.
Polybuck is saying DOA is about to be beardless. Oh, we're not doing that.
Husky put 69.
So what did you say? Put a 5 if he looks different? What did you say?
So I wanted to know if he looks like you thought, put a 5. If he looks different, put a 1.
Oh, there's a lot of ones. There's a lot of ones.
Yeah, it should be 1.
Terry is saying a gazillion ones. Vert says only a 5, only because I've seen them. Vert knows what I look like. So I did go ahead.
No, yeah, rock
and
roll.
Say, so like that one day, I think, what did this come in? I mean, a lot of these two guys are from like childhood stuff too, right? I have fond memories of having. Sorry about the glare. Some of these things. So this Venom 9.8, huh? Everybody.
That's an epic book.
Yeah. And then this came. This is the first appearance of Carnage. I ended up getting this one. I had this one. I was telling you as a kid what I did when I collected comics. I knew that was going to be one. And then I ended up getting this one. I just kind of had to do it.
I love it.
9.8. And you know what's funny? As I was looking at the previous videos, I was watching them to see like which ones I had. Have I like forgotten some of them or whatever? And like they were like significantly lower grades. I'm like, oh man, my tastes have changed since, you know, like I was like okay with an 8.2 in this and an 8.4 in that one, and now I'm like 9.8s.
Yeah, because it's going in your collection. It's your stack that you're keeping that will grow in value. Now, Sal is putting in a special request to hear the Hydro Slurp.
We're gonna do the whole.
We're gonna.
So this is what I did. People were like, "Stormy, do the slurp and everything." So yes, indeed. All right, I gotta take a little drink of my coffee out of my hydro flask. Yeah, all right, hold on.
It's so much different when you get to see
it. All right. Yes, all right. And then when he would do the fake push-ups, I'm gonna do some push-ups. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, exactly.
4. All
right. He's moving his head. 1, 2.
Let's explore.
Let's explore the floor.
Let's explore the floor. Now, yeah, as far as coins too, right now, like I didn't actually check precious metals prices today. I don't even know where we're sitting. I'm assuming that,
it sucks.
Yeah, I'm assuming that the stuff is in the toilet. Let me just quickly look. Let's see where we at here. Did it drop? I'm gonna assume that it dropped. In the thing that's gold went up $15. Whoop-de-doo. Silver up 29 cents. Whoop-de-doo. Okay, so it's still flat. We were talking about it last night on the auction. prices were going down, yet people are more hesitant to buy. And isn't that true with anything? I saw a meme of Bitcoin, and it showed a booth. It said Bitcoin $64,000, and it had a line like wrapped around the street. And then another next to it says Bitcoin $20,000, and nobody's interested.
So there's
FOMO,
a couple of things.
right?
FOMO, but perceived value. Humans by nature are pack animals. So nobody wants to be the first, but nobody wants to be the last either.
Yeah.
So they move in swings, which is why we have society breakdowns, which is why we have society buildups. It's pack mentality. And that's just in human nature. Nobody wants to be the guinea pig, and nobody wants to miss out. So it's a combination of that FOMO and that fear factor. Perceived value is a bigger part of it. When the news, when the talking heads, when the pundits are all up there saying things like crypto got up $3,000 overnight, just imagine if you had bought it yesterday.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, what's that?
I'm just trying to show. Oh, there. Wait. It's hard to do with it. 22. It's at 22,000.
It's 22,000.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we talked about this before previously. When it came to crypto, you had a lot of these guys on the internet talking about crypto to the moon, crypto to the moon. And I think even Vert got in on the bandwagon with us because we talk heavy finance and business growth and development. And we're into a bunch of different ventures. And we're like, if that's the case, somebody would go sell their house, their car, their 2 kids, and their wedding ring, buy crypto, live in their car for 30 days, and come out living in a mansion. That's what would happen if people really believed it.
Yeah.
That's what would happen if it's that miracle drug.
Did you see that? What's the guy? He was called the Dogecoin millionaire.
Yeah.
Remember, he was like this guy who took everything, 100 grand, 150 grand, and then at one point it got all the way up to 3 million. And he was saying, no, I'm going to wait until Doge hits $1. And then it's like tanked. Now it's like worth like 300 grand.
Yeah. Lit himself on fire. And
Yeah.
It's sort of like the casino. The longer you sit in a casino chair, the more you're going to lose. The laws of averages are against you. So is it fun to go to a casino? Yes. Is it possible to win? It's possible. Is it plausible? Not really, but it's possible. If you do win, the biggest trick is not to sit there and convince yourself you're playing on casino money or that you're gambling with house money.
Yeah.
The biggest trick is to get up and walk out.
And that's what I did at 55,000 when I bought in at 19, bought a little more at 20. Thank you, Spencer Clegg, for joining. Then I ended up buying again at 23. And then I just sat, and it went all the way up to like 66. I had a couple friends who were like, oh, it's going to go to 400,000 a coin or whatever. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'll hold it for a little longer. And then it started to come down, and it was like around 55,000. I was talking to you, and I was talking to Yankee Stacking, actually. So I sold it, and then 2 days later, Elon Musk comes out, and he's like, Tesla's no longer going to be accepting Bitcoin as payment. And then it just plummeted, and now... like, look at that. Like, one person has the ability to just completely tank an entire...
That's dangerous.
It's very... There's no...
That's no stability.
Right.
That is a zero foundation.
And then they were waiting to see if Elon Musk on Saturday Night Live was going to just mention Dogecoin, and if he did, it was going to shoot up. Like... To me, it's like you said, fad investing. I can understand why people were into it when it came out. I can understand like behind the people that think like, okay, you know, you have privacy with it, etc. It was only a matter of time until the government starts to get involved and starts to regulate it.
They're not going to let anybody play in their backyard without collecting the tolls.
Yeah.
But again, this isn't to beat up on somebody's vehicle of choice.
Not at all.
This is the idea of, you know, alternative assets and diversification. Because let me tell you something. For the first time in American history, metals are not responding to the American market like they always have.
Right.
So what would happen? The market crashes, metals go up. The president comes out, economic crisis, inflation coming, metals go up. We are not responding. The precious metals market is stagnant. It's not responding like its behavioral history says it should.
Right.
And that makes it very complicated and confusing for anybody who's studied the market and has certain expectations. Just like when people are like, buy the dip. Well, okay, folks, it has to stay low for weeks, if not months, before anybody can afford to come off the premium. There's no such thing in our world as a dip. You can see the dip, but can you feel it? Not for a while. What I think the bottom line for this is, much like people invest in crypto or Doge or NFTs, commodity stocks, we have chosen to invest some of our assets into comics.
Yankee is saying it's responding similarly to 2007, 2008 before the Great Recession.
Well, yes. And I think, like I keep seeing these guys on the news or whatever that say, oh, get into real estate. Real estate's next. I mean, Ray Charles knows that's coming. He can see that coming from a mile away. Real estate's next. It's another complete boom. It's another complete crisis.
The everything bubble. It's the everything bubble, yeah.
Oh, 100%. But here's where it's going to be different. People have put their money in so many diverse places that are all risky, significantly risky, unproven, and just not stable. There's no rebound history with any of this stuff. And so when people lose this time, first with the recession, then with the depression, and then with total market collapse, that is the 3 steps that are going to happen, and very few people are going to survive it.
Everybody's it's interesting to see where it goes. I mean, one of the reasons I got into education was the stability factor. I was in sales prior to getting into education, and the Great Recession, I mean, it was brutal.
Silver Trooper just sent me a text. He says, I need to open my eyes when I speak.
You do close them, but
I'm looking down. It looks like they're shut. So I'm gonna
just not go like I was doing last night on the auction. I was doing this.
He's always looking after me and making sure I come across good. But
is he looking out for you, or is he nitpicking you? Which is
no, he's looking out. Nitpicking would be, why did you wear that color black shirt?
Why'd you wear that shade black as opposed to the other black one? Chaw.
That's the wrong black. We discussed this.
Yeah, that's not the midnight black that we discussed. No,
He keeps an eye on me. He knows that I'm particular about things, and
so was it yesterday or 2 days ago when you and I were on the stream? It was, or not stream, it was the Zoom. I guess it wasn't yesterday. Was it Sunday? You and I were on a Zoom call together. It was later at night, and we were just like eBay shopping. And then we were looking at Key Collector.
I don't know, because the days all blend together now.
Okay, so it's not just me.
No. It might have been yesterday.
What's that?
Well, like you got done your show, and then you were like,
was it yesterday?
Yesterday you got done the show. You called me. No, this was like, it must have been 2 days ago. But yesterday you called me and you're like, I'm going to bed. I'm exhausted. And then like an hour and a half later, you send me a picture of a comic and a listing. I'm like, yeah, your ass hurts. You're in bed.
God, it's horrible. And I already told you what I'm looking for. The next one on my agenda is that, what do you call it? Spawn number 1. Now, autographed by Todd McFarlane. And again, it's because it comes back to like childhood, right?
Yep.
Like I was into that. But one of the things that we were talking about is, I'm going to bring this over. The DOA.
Screen share.
You're not going to be able to.
I have it open, so I'll look on the side here.
Okay. So this is something, those of you that are, and I can go to this frame. Let me just see. Hopefully let me see if they could hear you. Say something.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right, they should be able to hear you. We were looking at this on Key Collector. Yeah, Silver King Stacking. Thank you. We were actually looking at this key collector comics.com because it tells you actually what the the key alerts are, and this here is the trending 20, and it gives you the synopsis. Oh, there's yours, Predator.
Yep, Predator.
I actually had to talk you back yesterday off of that one. But this is something that you definitely want to take a look at. And I know Sean Paul.
I have
Bernard,
that. I have
which one?
Miss Marvel.
Sean Paul Bernard. He's always using this site, and he actually found it gives you like most recent sales and stuff like that. Thank you, Oregon Stacker.
It's a great resource. It's a great resource so that you have access to, like you were saying earlier, when you buy and you listen to your community and your audience. This is a syndication of all of that. I mean, like you pulled up on that top 20 list, the Miss Marvel.
Oh, there it is. And then you just picked up the Miles Morales.
I got yes, I got Ultimate Fallout 4 Miles Morales 9.8.
Oh my God, what was that? 3?
Like 42.
Ooh.
4,200, and then and I'm not even a fan of that version of
Not
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I think that there are key books that come out that are milestones.
Yeah.
Like the Spider-Man Marvel coin that still goes for $270 right now, or whatever it is, where you got what's Thor or Hulk. Which one is the least popular one?
Out of
Hulk?
all of those, Thor and Hulk, I would say.
So Thor and Hulk, might be a $40 or $50 coin. Meanwhile, Spider-Man's $260+ because it's a key character. There's nothing different about it except the character stamp.
Yeah.
So I guess, very similarly here, I think that the Ultimate Fallout 4 Miles Morales version is a key character, and I think one day it'll be historic. So why not get it now before it becomes a $20,000 book?
Now, if we do end up going into another recession, that could be a great buying opportunity for people that are looking to get into it, because you're going to start seeing competition. Prices are going to be lowering repeatedly on eBay. So, if you guys are into metals and everything, that's great. But, same reason that you guys got into precious metals in the first place is that you don't want to put all of your eggs in one basket. And why not put your money into something else that's fun, collectible? It doesn't have to be what John and I are talking about, comics or whatever. You could be putting it into other stuff. I don't know, sports memorabilia,
sports card, celebrity cards.
Yeah.
People collect
vinyl records.
Like historic documents.
Yeah. There's a market for everything. It just depends on how large that market actually is.
And that's actually something pretty cool, because there's a huge swath of the collector market that remains steadfast even during a recession.
Yeah.
And that's their love for the thing they collect.
And that's like you were saying, there's the emotional attachment. So you know what, and people will find
the money.
If they, that's what brings them happiness. They'll find a way. Absolutely. And so, I collected a whole bunch of different things. Like, I have the Garbage Pail Kids. I got all of those. I did have that large sports memorabilia collection. I ended up selling off all of it for the most part. I do have a few things in my office or whatever, but I sold off quite a bit of it. And man, oh man. And it's just that it's my luck that I would buy stuff, I would hold it thinking that one day it's going to be worth something, and then I end up selling it for like a major loss, and then 5 years after the fact it skyrockets, right? So like, who would have known a pandemic?
Missing the boat.
Yeah,
missing the boat is constant.
Yeah. And I would say the one thing that I did well, finally, is the buying and selling of precious metals. It just kind of clicked with me in the outlet of YouTube and everything. And then I did do the dabbling in the comics or whatever last year, and now I'm just buying to hold. I'm not looking to actually flip these. These are going to go into the long-term stack, if you will.
Yeah. Wealth building, true wealth building, where you have a diversified portfolio. Look, every year, year after year after year, the key books across the history of comics, and this is expensive paper, which is why we're going to keep diverting back to it. Not that it's a preference. We collect all kinds of stuff. But year after year, the value of comics go up. They generally don't go down. Where you see a suffering is where people buy at the top of a hype train, and then there's a market correction and people are left holding the bag. Rarely does a comic crash.
Yeah.
Rarely does it burn.
Right.
It is a very mature market. I know that sounds weird saying that the comic book, the funny book market is mature, but it is sincerely, it is mature. It's almost like numismatics.
Yeah, I mean, think about the money. Like, it's not everyday people that go out and buy a $4,000 Miles Morales first appearance Spider-Man comic book. Right? Kids don't have that type of money, and plus you look at, right, you look at the condition of everything. I mean, it's viewed as art. You pay the premium if you want the white pages, if you want the 9.8s, you got to pay those higher premiums. And it's been slabbed, and it's been around for a long time, the 1920s or 30s. I forget when first
20s.
Superman came out.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, you think of like Action Comics 1 for first
Action
Spider-Man,
Comics 1.
Detective Comics 1 for Batman. But those, you know, like you said, I mean, this stuff has been around for a long time. And, you know, I'm excited that I'm getting back into it. I will keep buying gold when the right deal comes about. I'm actually pausing on my gold stacking right now. It's not news to anybody that I'm not really into stacking silver. I'll buy a couple pieces here or there. Like a lot of people got this. People have seen this thing on my desk. I have another thing that's like, here we go. Bigger than this coming. That's
kilo. Did you get the kilo or the 10?
No. It's like a I want to say it's like 30 ounce 30 ounce like tiger. It looks like Japanese art. It's a landscape. It's awesome. It should be coming within a month. I've been waiting since February for this thing. But I don't stack silver, and right now I got to tell you, I'm like more excited about the comic books, and nothing for nothing, but the comic book market has also taken off far more than gold and silver, right? You look at that. What did we just pull up? The comic key collector or whatever,
right.
And it tells you, oh, this went up 148%. This one went up 216%. This thing, right? And Marvel's going to be around forever. I get comments. People say like, oh, you know, Marvel coins or whatever, that those things are going to be worth nothing. Marvel, like, you know, isn't going to be. I'm like,
MCU.
It's huge. Like, what are you talking about? That's it's a
largest
moneymaker.
franchise on Earth.
Yeah.
Largest franchise on Earth is the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. And if they ever did have any sort of financial trouble, there would certainly be some other giant company that would come and buy them and continue on with it.
Lucas.
Yeah, right.
know? I mean,
there's too much money in it for it to fail.
Yep.
You know?
It's a wide appeal. It brings up memory and emotion.
Yep.
It's solid. It's educated. It's historic. There are so many facets to it. Now, let's be clear. We still are complete avid believers in silver and gold and precious metals. Mm-hmm. This is not a transition from one alt asset to another. This is just diversification. And diversifying in something that's fun to look at, fun to share, has a solid community around it. And if you have an itch for prospecting, this is an industry that you can actually prospect in. It's sort of like gold mining, right? They find a gold vein, the rumor mills start. You go out there with your pan and you start panning for gold. You're either going to find it or you don't. Definitive facts help people decide if they're going to go out there with their pan. Well, facts like movies coming out or TV shows being released or actors and actresses being announced, those dictate
the prices
and market swings. And honestly, that you don't have that anymore with the silver and the gold or anything for that matter.
No.
It's non-predictable.
Yeah.
So if you still want your chase, I'll tell you, I also do Pokemon and I do sports cards. Pokemon is my very long-term hold because the waves are like 10 years apart. Sports cards are fun for the rush, but somebody beats up a girlfriend, gets arrested for a bar fight.
Cocaine or something.
Cocaine.
And then, or tears their ACL and they're out.
Yep. And so it's fun, but you don't control any of it. And so a lot of it is luck. Anybody who says they have a special particular skill at sports cards is full of shit.
Yeah.
Comics is really foundationally one of the only things. It's like sort of going to a casino. If you want to go to a casino, you play Baccarat. The best odds in your favor. They're not in your favor, but it's the closest.
Right.
And it higher or lower. It's really simple. So if you're looking at what different assets can do for you, comics, I think tick more of the boxes than not. So it's fun.
It is fun, and it's funny how as a I was in like 5th or 6th grade through like 7th or 8th when I was collecting comics, and then I stopped. And I told you how I would buy the comic books. I was very particular in the quality and how I kept everything, so I would put them immediately in the
neurotic
bags. Yep. I would not read them. I would just buy it, bloop, bloop, and then I would file it away. And then once a month I would get the Wizard Price Guide comic book price guide, and then I would just like check the prices higher or lower, like as if it was stock, and then I was like, oh, one day these will be worth something or whatever, and sure enough they ended up becoming worth something. So I go ahead.
Without your storyline, without your heritage and getting rid of it and your history of, you may have never come back into it.
Yeah.
The path that took us where we are today is what helps craft who we are and how we do things. I remember the very first time you told me to buy something from Guido, and I bought like $600 worth of stuff from Guido, and then it took him like, I don't know, I think I had my first child before he mailed it. It was like 10 months. No, it was like,
he's gotten a lot better.
I'm not beating the guy up, but it was like 9 weeks of like holding my breath.
Yeah.
It was like literally 2 months of holding my breath. And that later taught me, because of that experience, taught me to vet the people I'm buying from a little stronger with their shipping time, because I can't stomach that 8-week hold.
Yeah.
And so the path is what makes us.
Lucky for my auction participants in that I hate clutter and mess, and I do not procrastinate, as you very well know. I like to if I have a task, I like to get it done, and I like to get it off my plate. And it's funny because I used to be the opposite. As a kid, I used to procrastinate all the way up until like the last possible moment for anything. Now I can't. I just get it all done, right? So like all of the stuff that you guys bought yesterday, it's all packed up. It's going out. And I wanted to go ahead.
No, in line with that, you also have this thing in your head where you say, I don't like owing people.
Yeah.
So they paid you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It's sitting on your desk. You get triggered and you're like, nah, gotta go.
Yes.
It's not mine anymore. Go.
Correct. Yep. And I send it 2 days later, right? So today is processing day, and then everything's packed up and ready to go. Thursday, I just drop it all off at the store. At the whatever place, post office. Holy crap, it's been a long freaking day. Um,
But what's important about that is that somebody invested in you, somebody
yeah,
invested in your product, and if it took you 6 weeks to mail it, they might miss that next bump.
not only that too, word spreads, you know what I mean? And in the thousands of transactions that I've had and the items that I've sent out, only one item or one package has ever been lost, and it was just recently the to Tommy Live say. And he emailed me and he's like, I lost this package never arrived. It's like been a month now or whatever. And yeah, stuff gets screwy or whatever. And I looked and it still said in transit. And he said that he went to the post office. They said part of the label got ripped off. He said the other part, the return, my part, is still there. And so I'm just taking him for his word. I refunded him completely.
Yeah.
And he's been a customer of mine for a while. So I feel like that's part of the relationship that I build with everybody that's in here is like, I actually really do care a lot about their entire process from, beginning to end, the experience of actually being on the show, buying it, to the ease of sending the money, to me actually packing it up and sending it to them and them getting it right away.
Like they're paying a premium and you give them a premium service and
they can reach me too.
Yeah, you make it fun. You make it entertaining. I mean, look, Emil and I did the same thing with Metal Merchant. Somebody complained, and we literally would fight it from the back end. Like, I didn't get my stuff or it didn't show up. Money, here, take the money, and we'll sort it out later. And that's what you got to do as a business owner.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see on Instagram with comics, with cards. You can see it with all of these things. This last 2 years of people thinking that they're business people, acting like entrepreneurs because they get on and try to peddle some shit on the internet, but they don't treat it like a business.
No. So that's the other thing is why it's very different for me, guys, is that this is, like John said in the beginning, this is a business. I have my accountant that I pay my quarterly taxes with. I've got my lawyer
Attorneys,
to handle I've all the marketing stuff, the equipment. I just invested in the new computer so that the streams run more smoothly. It's important. It allows
face reveal.
I mean, you know what the other part of it too was? I remember like when there was like a partial face reveal and a reflection of the coin, I would get all nervous. I'm like, oh my God, like the shtick, it's over, right? And then eventually, like, somebody's like, oh, I see you in the corner. I'm like, I don't give a shit. And I'm like, look, right? And then I'm like, everybody has a face. Everybody's got faces. I don't know. You know what it was? It was because I built the channel around the identity of the whole, where's am I going? Over there, that guy back there. And, it's a big step to kind of completely just change the identity by and large. I'm the same person, but the whole imagery and what clicked for people to, the character and what people like decided to join for in the first place, And so my wife, I was telling her the other day, I was like, I'm going to do a face reveal. She's like, why? You're just going to be some guy. I'm like, yeah, I know. I know. I'll just be some guy.
But there's always a guy behind it. And, like I was talking in your Discord with Corky earlier. I mean,
Corky.
We were talking about, he did a great job with his website and he's starting his YouTube channel. And he's got a really interesting, fun concept with treasure and history. But I was like, dude, put up an About Me page. And he gave me all these reasons why.
I saw that you guys were going back. I was like, I can't read all this.
Well, he gave me all these reasons why he felt that he's already done the job adequately. And, he made it clear that he thought his experience in life and in the business afforded him the opportunity to be satisfied with what he had. And I said, look, man, bottom line is in this business, you're asking for people's investment. It's either in cash, it's in precious metals, it's in time, it's in faith, it's in trust, it's in all kinds of facets. And there's ultimately a human that makes the decisions behind that. And you need to tell your story. And honest to God, this is you taking the next step and telling your story, because you're still Stormy.
Yeah.
You still have the stormtrooper out. It's not like you've outgrown it.
No. Well,
It's
no, actually, no, I still am at the same weight. So, yeah, I could still fit into it in terms of outgrowing it.
Sometimes it's debatable.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Real
But
nice.
what you have outgrown is the idea that that's the only way to win, and that people don't need to know you. And I told you before, I said, at some point, dude, we're going to end up at a coin show or end up at a card show or a comic book convention, and you're going to get outed, and you just
though.
Yeah, you better get used to it.
It's happened at the coin shop at least 6 times. And the most recent time was a little bit more surreal. I walked in and Steve said to me, he's like, Stormy, that guy over there is like one of your biggest fans. And the guy had heard him talking to me, and the guy's like, you're Stormy? And I was like, yeah. So I went over, shook his hand and everything. And then he asked me for my autograph. I'm like, I'm a L level celebrity, if that even exists, like a W level, like not even C level, like W, like 7, like a. But it was funny. He had me sign one of my bucket bucks, you know, but you know, it was
celebrity's relative. Some people, dude, look, you may not be making, you know, Tom Cruise money or movies.
Yeah.
Silver King Stacking just said, send this $10 to DOA. You know that cheap bastard's never going to send me that $10. He's going to tell me,
I will.
He's going to say, okay, I'll send you the $10, but I need $5.99 for shipping.
No, I will send you I'm just $7 because YouTube takes
they
the
take
30%.
They take 30%. Yep.
Freaking.
But thank you very much, Silver King Stacking. I appreciate that. But all in all, dude, again, I'm super proud of you. I think it was a good step. I think while you had a lot of people saying no, 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 I don't think there was any other option, man. And if I pushed you over the edge, I'm happy to have done it. I'm standing my ground.
You didn't. No, you were supportive. You didn't push me at all. You were just you want to do it, I'm here for you. And I'm like, let's just do it. A lot of people didn't think I was going to actually do it, but we
were watching the chat before the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had some active bets. I got a couple of text messages. That's fun.
Oh, let's actually see. I want to see my sub count. Let's see how many
you lost.
Disappeared. Let's see. No, it stayed the same. People stuck with me. They stuck with me.
You really thought you were gonna lose?
No, I didn't think so.
Okay.
I didn't think so. I know I'm not.
You're not fugly.
Yeah. No, and
don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people on this YouTube thing that really do better with just their hands. Okay.
Yeah. So Trooper says, "Keep your camera centered, you effer." And Trooper, the DOA, and I were dealing with this in order to stretch the window pane and everything. Like I have to like move to the left like this. I have to be like kind of off to the side, if that helps your neuroses a little bit there. I'll do that for you. Go ahead.
So zoom, just so these people understand why the zoom, because I also don't like how we're looking away from each other. So technically I should be doing this. I should be doing this number, but then I can't see the screen. So
no, but is that what we're supposed to be doing?
We're supposed to look at each other.
Like side to side?
Yeah, like right now you're looking out and I'm looking out.
I need
and
to
it
be
leaves
this way?
Yeah. And there's this weird gap where we're looking out and it's very uncomfortable, which is why directors never, or cinematographers never shoot that in movies. It should be, we should look
as if we're in the same place?
As if we're talking to each other.
Oh, that's going to take some choreography.
Well, yes, but as you know, effort pays off. But again, we're feeding this in from Zoom. We're not using like Restream or StreamYard. We're feeding it in from Zoom. And so there's limitations to what he can do with the window size. So he's got this thing stretched and skewed and adjusted, which means I have to sit way over here. He has to sit way over there. we're all
And
gonna
we
be
still
taking,
have all this letterbox, which is driving me nuts.
we're gonna be taking pain pills later to try to figure out how to get the freak out of our neck. I mean, it's been almost an hour and a half. It's been a good show tonight, anyhow. I mean, how do you feel? How do you feel?
I feel good. I feel relieved. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like now I'm not worried if I'm on camera or not. I think, too, another part of this, and I think I had said earlier, is I felt so tethered to the content that I could create. Everything had to be hands and coins. Like, this entire niche, for the most part, is hands and coins. And it's top down, looking on top of a desk. I understand for, security purposes. That's why people do it. But I think this allows me to just open up the possibilities of the different things I can do. I could use different parts of my office as the backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
Now if I'm going down the road, like when I'm like, all right, I'm driving down to the store or whatever, like it's always like looking through the windshield. Now I can have it towards me and just talk to the camera. And then you see some stuff on YouTube where they say like people can relate more to a face. I don't know. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do some of that over exaggerated stuff that people do on thumbnails. Like, look at what I just got. And they're like this, like, oh,
Right.
Like I find that stuff so stupid. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'll probably just use graphics. I'll still use Steve's face. I don't think I'll necessarily put my face on the thumbnails.
No, you said it. You're going to open up opportunity to be more creative on the video. It's going to be getting used to it because you're going to be additional. Before you were like, how did I sound? Now you're going to be like, how did I sound and how did I look? And it's just natural. I mean, we all hate how we sound when we first hear ourselves.
Oh, I know how I sound. It's horrible.
What?
I sound like I say all the time, a nasally Charlie Day or something. Like I always sound like I have like a clothespin over, like a perpetual congestion.
Have you snorted a really bad batch of Coke today?
No.
I'm too tired for that.
I'm too tired. I'd be bouncing off the walls if I had. So let me ask you this too.
What?
Going back to the comic stuff, because that's the stuff that I like, right? And Desert Bob had a really good question.
What's that?
And he said that, do you guys invest in slabbed and graded or raw stuff? And I think really it's both. And the thing, and I don't know if you saw what I sent you earlier. I think I sent it to you on Instagram, or maybe I didn't. There was somebody that posted for comic books that they sent like 6 issues of this one particular book out to CGC, and it was like 14 months until they got it. It was for pressing and grading. It took 14 months. So I was going to send you that because I was going to say, dude, you had the right idea to go ahead and get the press, because holy crap, it's 14 months is ridiculous. I mean,
well, it's about $60. Well, it's $30 to press. It's another $20 to clean. And then if your book is worth more than $1,000, it's 1% of fair market value. So let's take Spider-Man #1. That could be $4,000 in fees. It could be $400 in fees, depending on what they decide fair market is. So let's just take the bottom end and say it's $400 in additional fees. That puts it somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 to put it in a slab, because they anticipate what it's worth. Now, if you got a pile of books, that gets very, very expensive. So the sort of the heartache here is the longer you wait to slab it, the riskier it is, because the book can continue to deteriorate. So the less valuable it becomes. Yeah. But if you want to save those assets faster, you have to outlay a whole bunch more cash up front. Now, to Bob's question, I am a buy slabs because I know what I'm getting.
Yeah, and that wait time is already gone.
The wait time is gone. But what I did to try to curb that is I bought the equipment. I'm going to tell y'all, I bought one big press that was almost $5,000, and I bought two smaller presses that were somewhere in the neighborhood of like almost $500 for the two of them. So there's three different size presses. The chemical, the equipment, the brushes, all the other stuff is about $1,000 to get set up.
Like the putty and all the other stuff that you get.
Yep. Archival paper, the different thicknesses to fix spines, the metal sheets, the vellum, the blotting paper, and it's very specific things because the paper is heat sensitive, age sensitive, ink sensitive. As they change through the generations, they use different material. And so it sort of becomes alchemy meets chemistry meets, archiving and archaeology of sorts. So I'm learning the skill of cleaning and grading, Bob. And while that means that I'll be able to buy books that are a little less perfect and fix them, it is probably not something I'm going to chase down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have 10,000 books that need to be cleaned. I don't need to go.
You have plenty of time. You or plenty of books on your hands to work with. And like, it'll be interesting. Like, I really am curious to see like what you end up doing with the, Amazing Spider-Man #1 and what you end up doing with it.
Well, the books 1 through 50 sold for $770,000. 1 through 70 graded, and they all were like from 0 1s to, 6s. Because, old books like that, you're not going to get very good ones. They're the
amount of time, like I can only imagine what it's going to be like being your friend when you send 50 of those books in for grading. The wait time, the
anxiety.
I was about to say the constant anxiety, the anger, the rage, all of it. Like, you're gonna be like, I'm just gonna, you're gonna be like, I'm just gonna drive over there. Where the flip is my stuff? God damn it, fact.
I told Silver Trooper, I was like, look, maybe the thing to do is just to take the car and do the 12-hour drive to Sarasota and drop them off. And maybe, because I got certified with them to grade cards.
Maybe they would like put you to the head of the line, kind of.
Well, put me ahead of the line, maybe. Doubt it, but maybe they would let me shoot some content on it. Maybe. I mean, I was the only person in the entire training group that got pictures with the president of the company. Because nobody wanted to ask him. I'm like, yeah, man, look, let me do you a favor and let you take a picture with me. And he smiled. I'm like, it worked. But maybe there's something there to go to Sarasota and hand deliver them. It is going to be anxious. It's going to be a nightmare, but it's necessary.
I actually think that would be a better bet.
Yeah.
To drive there. I mean, if you're going with that much money in books, you're probably better off just having them on your person, drop them off. Do they allow you to do like a pickup in person too?
Yep.
Then
you got to schedule it. There's no storefront.
Right. It's like a building. It's like an office building or something.
Yeah,
right?
It's a big office building, and then there's like this big sort of foyer in the front, or it's not even a waiting room. It's like being in a Xerox building or something, and it's very secure. But it's a lot of young people. You can tell they're into collectibles and things. And I have a feeling that doesn't happen very often. But if you walked in there with $1 million worth of comic books raw, and you're like under armed guard, and you're like, guys, this ain't a joke. Look at what I got. I would bet that they would take it.
Right.
Just because of what it's worth.
Right.
This collection I have has the one of everything. It is a lifetime collection. It is not something you stumble on. It's not a one of one that just pops up or that you pulled out of a retail blaster box at Target. This is stuff that go for hundreds of thousands of dollars at Christie's. I don't know. Maybe it's worth making a video of the drive to Sarasota with Silver Trooper doing the driving and me wrestling for his pistol, because we're going to want to shoot each other on the way there.
It sounds like a road trip from hell.
No, we did our trip to Idaho to see Bert, and it was a blast. I had some of the most fun I've ever had. But I think it might be fun to try. We'll see, but it is going to be anxiety ridden. So, Bob, graded is really where I'm at for investing in these things.
Speaking of which, Mike Y,
Mike, why?
he is saying, Stormy, I'll sell you my Spider-Man 129 signed by Stan Lee and Jerry Conway for 10K.
Mm-hmm.
He has Amazing Spider, first appearance of Punisher. I think it was an 8.0 or something like that, Mike. I forget what it was, Mike.
Is this the? And this is the.
This is the guy that's always saying sausage.
No, I know, but is this the Spider-Man?
This is
that
Amazing
he's
Spider-Man.
Like flying?
No,
like
this is the first appearance of Punisher.
Oh,
the one that I have.
Oh, okay.
But Mike has it. It's a lower grade. I think it's like an 8.0 or 8. Oh, it's an 8.5.
8.5. Okay.
But it's signed by Stan Lee, and what do you call it?
The writer.
Yeah.
Well, Stan wrote it, right?
Yeah.
So Stan wrote it, and then somebody else drew it.
Yeah. I'm trying to find. I forget Jerry something. I could also just look at the book. Oh, Jerry Conway.
Oh, did you?
Southwest Stacker says that's what Stormy looks like. I thought he was gonna look like like a jabroni. I saw that. That is pretty cool.
My Stan Lee on a throne.
You should get a mini gold crown and put it on him,
dude. So I have a very epic Stan Lee collection. So Mike Y.
How heavy is that?
It's like 3 pounds. It's heavy. It's one of the best quality statues. It's not like junky.
What is
heavy.
the do you remember the brand?
Yes.
Is it Studio something? I forget the name
Beast.
of the.
So, Epic Beast or something. I mean, I could look it up.
I've debated on getting a statue of my own, but to be honest with you, I have no idea where I'd end up putting it.
So it's Beast Kingdom out of Japan who makes them. Okay. But Silver Trooper actually found the website for me, and it's on Sideshow. Sideshow.com.
Sideshow is the there's a couple.
Well,
I've thought about buying like a Venom or something, but
I've wanted a Spawn. Like I wanted a big, because I love Spawn. I wanted a big Spawn for the desk. But again, I gotta pick and choose. I can't go down that rabbit hole. I don't have enough space. And statues just don't retain the same value.
It's just a cool thing. It's just a cool thing.
Camera blew out.
Oh, like bright. Oh, there you go. Look at you forcing it back. Get back, light.
Let there be light. So yeah, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. And statues are great, but they don't retain the value like the graded stuff does.
Right.
And I'm buying it not because I want to have a. Wow, that really did blow me out. I got to get my big camera reconnected.
You're glowing.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, there it is. It's adjusting. So God. I don't want to get into something. The ultimate goal is wealth building, and I know that happens with a collectible. The statues are collectible. It's just not a big market.
Right. So, what do you think, man? I think we had a good show
I think it's
tonight.
been a great. I think it's been a great show. I think an hour and a half, good to go. I'm super proud that you showed your face. Next week or next show, whenever that may be, we'll get into some real specifics with the books. We'll get into the details about which ones. I mean, what do you think? We get into the details about what makes us want to buy them and what clues we look for?
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
Perfect.
Fantastic show. We're all proud of you, Stormy. Ted Jones, thank you, bud. I appreciate you. DOA, I appreciate you being with me for this. It was a big step. So, much appreciated. I got a lot of texts from people in the community saying, like, good job and so on and so forth. So, yeah.
Thank y'all for the super chats. Thank you for the super chats.
Yes, absolutely.
That goes the distance. And if you haven't done so yet, please hit that like button. We really appreciate it. And I guess Stormy, we'll see him next week, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What's next week? Yeah, next week it will be good.
Well, I'm out of town.
Okay.
So I'm out of town. We'll have to talk about it and figure it out. Again, this was this we're trying to feel out how this expensive paper show goes. So far so good, but let's sort it out. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. We'll have to see.
All
Until
right.
then.